Hi, I'm Spencer Smith, owner of CrossFit Donelson. This is my homework for lesson 6 of the coach development course, the points of performance. I've chosen the deadlift movement series. Starting off with the deadlift, you have 5 main points of performance. You've got the lumbar curve being maintained, right? You've got the weight being staying in the heels. You've got the torso angle staying constant through the initial part of the pull. Then you have the bar path staying close to the body, and then you have active shoulders, right? Pretty much all of these, I think, are best seen from the profile of the side view. Diagonal would also work, but I think if you're looking for the best angle, the side profile is good for all of these. All right. So you've got the weight in the heels. You're watching the heels, making sure the heels stay in contact with the floor. You've got the lumbar curve being maintained. Of course, you're watching the spine or the low back. Right? For both the bar path and active shoulders, I like to watch the bar and make sure the bar is staying close to the body. You can watch the shoulders, but it's kind of hard to see sometimes. But if you just make sure that bar is staying close to the body, they tend to have those nice active shoulders, and it takes care of the bar path staying close to the frontal plane as well. And then, of course, we have the initial pull. I like to watch the back, or you should watch the back in the initial part of that pull to make sure the hips and shoulders are rising and falling together in the initial part of that pull below the knees. Right? And then we have next piece is the Sumo deadlift high pull. You're taking everything you had from the deadlift, layering on a couple more pieces. You've got the timing, meaning we need to get full hip extension before we pull with the arms. I like to watch that one from more of a diagonal point of view. So you can see and watch the hips. So you can see that timing. You can see the hips extend before we pull with the arms. Right? And then we have the rapid extension of the hips. Same thing, diagonal point of view there, best to see that speed of the hips as we get above the knees with the bar and rapidly extending those hips to make sure that we're doing that. It's not technically one of the points of performance, but another big one I always like to watch for is the elbow staying high and outside. It doesn't say that in the level 2 guide, but that's a big one that I see a lot of times people pulling up here. I mostly just like to watch that one from straight on front view to make sure that people aren't pulling the bar above their elbows, keeping their elbows above the bar as they pull the bar up nice and high in that position. And then finally, the medicine ball clean. You have 2 main points of performance layered on top already, what you already have, which is the full hip extension in the drive. So we want to make sure that we're getting full extension in general, but especially I like to watch the hips from either a diagonal or a side profile view here. Making sure we're getting that full extension every time of the hips. That's where I really like to focus my eyes to make sure we're getting hip extension there, because most people will get their knees or their legs relatively extended, but they may not get full hip extension. That's where people miss it a lot. Side profile view tends to be the best, I think, for that. Diagonal also works. And then the final one is, of course, the sound front squat, which you kind of have to watch for everything that you already know for in the squat. Heels down, knees tracking over the toes, right? Your spine position. You have to watch all those things. But if you're if you're picking for one thing, I might watch the hips and the feet, kind of making sure we're getting full depth in the squat. And then if they're getting full depth of the squat, the hips and the feet should be really close together. We can watch those heels staying on the floor as well. But really, they're all important, obviously, in the sound front squat. So kind of watch that from a diagonal. I think that tends to be the best all-around angle you can get both from. Thank you very much.